Yo, what's up, guys? It's Talon. Today we're going to be coaching an Emerald, Tryndamere, and Scion player. His peak is Diamond. He's been stuck in an Emerald for a while this season. And basically, the things we talk about are level advantage, overall wave management, and then understanding when to side lane, when to team fight. So if you're interested in learning those types of things about Baron Lane, definitely stick around for the video. If you're interested in getting coached by me, a rank 1 solo queue player, DM me on Discord, Talon1169, or through the link in the description below to my Discord server. And then lastly, the link in the description also has information in a Google Doc that gives you all of the key concepts you need to understand in Wild Rift and videos I've created associated with them. So check that out as well if you're interested. Anyways, let's get right into the video.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said one's like your main. Is it Tryndamere or Scion that you play?
No, so Trinimir's going to be Scion's who I play a lot. Trinimir's
Okay.
going to be like a newer pick.
Gotcha. Then what's your peak rank?
I believe Diamond Diamond.
Diamond. Gotcha. Do you have any goal with this coaching specifically, like any rank you're trying to hit or anything like that?
I definitely want to get out of Emerald, bro.
Okay. Gotcha.
I've literally all season I've been fighting Emerald. It's insane, just back and forth in Emerald 3 to Emerald 1 and back.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, first tip is go to the correct lane instead of walking the dual lane. So, but yeah, I mean, this matchup, like, what we always want to think about top lane right away is obviously like how the matchup goes and like how our abilities actually interact with the enemy. So, like here, you basically, you know, when do you think you have any type of advantage against this champion, if you were to guess?
Yeah. In hindsight, I would guess never right now.
Until level 5, yeah. Like level 5, then like you're pretty fine. I mean, you're not gonna like all in him most likely level 5, but yeah, you don't really do that much until level 5. But you have a decent amount of sustain, so it's not like you have to be like completely terrified of the wave or something. But yeah, you don't do that much. So either
You're gonna
hard
love
push and
this.
you play for level 5, or for level 2, not level 5. You hard push, you play for level 2, or you just let him push into you and you kind of chill. So yeah, like dashing here doesn't really do anything for us. Like if you're going to, since he's not on the wave level or level 1 like right away, I'm fine with you playing to hit the wave a lot, just so you can get it pushed and then leave because you have decent sustain when you get level 2. But you would pretty much just be hitting these two minions like constantly instead of spinning onto him randomly, because again, he's just going to win these trades as we kind of talked about. Which yeah, like you're gonna learn. You know, you said you don't play this champion a lot. Generally, Tryndamere is going to lose most matchups before 5 and then becomes like really good after 5. So yeah, your goal is pretty much just either let them push into you, or if they're really scared for whatever reason, you can play for level 2, but you don't want to actually focus on trading like that. So that's really the first kind of mistake. Like again here, this minion is going to give you level 2. If you hit that minion and then you fought him here, you'd actually like you would win this, even though your champ sucks compared to his at level 1, because you'd be level 2, he'd be level 1. So you just have to be aware of level advantages. That's really the first thing. Are you aware of which minion gives you level 2?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so there's
I would love laning tips, definitely.
Yeah. Well, that's what you give me money for, so that's what I will be doing. But there's two different types of there's two minions that will give you level 2. So in duo lane, just because might as well give you random tips. In duo lane, the first minion of the second wave will always give you level 2. It's very rare that's anything else. For solo lane, obviously you get XP as the game goes on. Like every second, you're getting a little more XP the same way you get a little gold all the time.
Wild Rift.
Yeah, and so if you will like wait a while, like you do here, I don't know the exact time, but if you wait a decent amount of time, like here where you kind of fight, you're not hitting the wave right away, then the third minion of the first wave will give you level 2 because you got enough XP naturally, which is what happens here because it takes a while. But if you like hard push the wave level 1 right away, it won't be until the fourth minion that you'll get level 2.
Understood. Okay.
And the way you're gonna see that, I mean, obviously you know how the XP bar works, right? Like you can see that you're really close to level 2 because the circle.
Yeah.
Okay. I've one time coached someone, they didn't know about the circle and they thought it was like, whoa, that's a thing. So I just have to always make sure people know. But yeah, so you look at the circle when it's relatively close, and again, the more you're paying attention to it, the more you'll kind of be able to just gauge it on looking at it. And so yeah, you can see the minion is literally 1 HP, and instead you decide to all in him and you don't hit that. If you hit that, you would have had your, I think it's your W, whichever one heals you. I don't really play Tryndamere, but you would have had a huge heal, yeah, and you would have done that way earlier, so then you'd probably be able to even cycle through another one.
Exactly.
And then you keep trading with him even though you're 1 HP. Like it's not even that problematic right now. You could literally just recall, You get back to lane, you lose 1 minion and maybe 2 minions max, and then you're full HP and like it's not a big deal. So anytime a lane does go really bad, just be okay with taking a loss of 1 or 2 minions. It's not the end of the world. I mean, again, if we played around level advantage or we just backed off and let him push into us, in this case we could have played around level advantage, then you don't have to worry about that. But once you do get into the situation where you're in a bad spot, if you think you're going to die, and you're obviously going to die with this level of HP, you can't trade with him. Just don't trade with him. Just recall. Instead of, just trying to trade when we're down a lot of HP. So, I mean, the reason you're cycling between Emerald is, like, Emeralds and even really Diamond, especially at this point in the season, we're like halfway through the season, the only thing you have to do is just make really basic, simple plays and just think before you're making a play. Like, very simply, I could show you that screenshot where you're 30% HP and he's 70% HP, and I ask you what to do, and you're going to tell me to back off. You're not going to tell me to go on him, and yet you went on him. And so, again, a lot of it is just autopiloting and kind of just playing with your brain off, and that can happen for a number of reasons. I mean, you can be playing, after a long day at work or whatever, you're distracted or you're high. I don't know. Some people, I had to give one guy advice of just stop being high while you're playing, and that helped him a lot.
Yeah,
so,
I might need
really
to try that as well. Yeah.
But anything like that, just whatever you can do to like maintain more focus.
So what should I be doing right here?
All you should be doing is not trading, because again, we established your goal is to just get to level 5 without dying.
So I should just be hugging my turret, grabbing my mushrooms. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're not cutting me off. You can cut me off anytime you have questions. That's perfectly fine. It's better if you ask questions rather than me just talking the whole time. But yeah, you're right. You should pretty much just sit under here, because right now if we look at the wave, say nobody touched the wave for the next 10 seconds. Where would the wave be in 10 seconds?
It would be under my turret.
No, it would be right here. It would stay here.
Oh, I have a second menu. Right, okay. It would still be in front of the turret, yeah.
And then, and again, this is something you're probably not going to answer correctly, but you might. What's going to happen about 25 or 30 seconds from now? Again, if basically no one touched the wave apart from like last hitting it.
It would end up staying pretty much the same, or in the middle at least.
No. So what would happen is, so these minions would die, right? So these 2 minions, right? Your 2 melee minions would die. Then this melee minion, the enemy melee minion, would go under your turret, because now it'd be trying to attack your ranged ones. It would die. And so now you would each have 2 minions, right? Does this make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay, so you would each have 2 minions. Then your wave that you can currently see right where it is, right? The next wave would come. But their wave wouldn't be there yet, because since it's closer to your side of the map, their wave would still only be at their, turret. Well, the wave coming here would be obviously already here. So what that means is you would have a brief period of time where you would have 6 minions to 4 minions, which means you're going to start pushing it. So then your minions are naturally going to start pushing into the enemy, because by the time the enemy other 4 minions get there, your 6 would have already killed 1 or 2. So now you're going to have 6 minions to like 4 or 5 minions, which is going to create a natural push in the enemy direction. Now, this is, and I understand this is something that's a bit more like of a complicated concept, but it's something I want you paying attention to eventually, especially as a weaker early game champion. This is a very common thing that happens. Like, very commonly, you will find yourself in probably at least 30% of games playing weak early game champions where you have this exact wave state, because people don't properly crash the wave under your turret, and then you get like this. Now, the good thing is, once you kill usually 2 minions, you've lost some XP here because you were losing lane, but generally speaking, if the wave is here and you didn't lose XP, once you kill a couple of the enemy minions, so you have 6 minions and they have like 4 minions, that's going to allow you to hit level 4. And so now you're going to be level 4 to enemy level 3, because again, you have 6 minions that they haven't killed, whereas they only have 4 minions that you haven't killed, so you've killed more minions, so you have XP advantage. And then that level 4 advantage, that's when you can, despite being a weaker early game champion, find your timer to engage. So basically what's important to understand is not this exact one state of the wave. You're going to figure out these things as you play. What's important to understand is pay attention to what's going to happen with the wave given the current state. And again, that's something you can pretty much just determine from numbers. Like here, again, you're going to have 2 to 2 because these 2 minions are about to die, and then it'll become 2 minions to 2 minions. And since it's closer to you, again, the wave gets there first, so you're going to have more minions initially. And understanding those types of things is really important. But yeah, what's up?
No, I was kind of going to reinforce what you just said. I've known of this. I've known of wave management, but I've never fully understood how to understand it. And I guess that breaking it down like that. I think I get it better now. I appreciate that.
Yeah. and that's going to be something you're going to want to like top lane phase is by far the most important thing. So I tell people a lot of times when they're trying to improve, find one thing to improve on and just only improve on that. You probably should be obsessing over your lane phase for 1 to 3 weeks, I would say. Really don't play any, don't focus on much else. I mean, we'll give you some other stuff because obviously you're only thinking about lane phase for the first 6 minutes of the game. So when we watch later parts of the game, we'll give you a couple of things to think about later on in the game. But for now, Baron lane, it's obviously fucking easy to play the game if you get ahead on Tryndamere or Sion too. That's mostly what you need to be doing, and then from there it's pretty straightforward.
Snowballs the goal.
Yeah. So understanding this thing, so again, you trade with him, and you see how, again, he's hitting level 4 here first, because we're not abusing, one, because we lost a lot of XP, because you were losing lane, right, and he got the kill on you. So I guess, yeah, the kill is why he's level 4 here. I was trying to think, why would he be level 4 already? But it's because he got a kill. So because he's ahead of you so much in levels, this is why you can't play the game. You can never fight a level 4 champion when you're level 3. I forget the exact number, but it's roughly 500 gold of stats, health, HP, armor. I said HP,
yeah.
It's the same thing, but you get the point. You get more AD, you get everything. So you just can't really trade with him when you're down levels. The only time you'd be able to trade with him, for example, would be if you get level 4 here. But even then, again, you're already losing. You're down in items at this point too. And again, you trade level 3 to level 4. You dash in. This dash doesn't do anything for you. It didn't even get you minions. We look at it, right? It's just even
if I was gonna do,
yeah, go ahead.
If I was gonna do anything here, I should have walked up to melee that, and if he challenged it, then I could have spun out and maybe gotten my last hit without taking much damage.
Dashed backwards. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you really wanted, you could. But again, you could do that. But the time where you would actually make this more aggressive play is when this minion's going to give you level 4. So you wouldn't dash for this minion. You would just sit and get XP. You could go in and walk up for the next minion, because I think the next minion should probably be what's going to give you level 4. And then that's when we can actually do it, because it's going to be a less problematic trade. However, I still wouldn't do it in this situation. Why do you think I wouldn't walk up for any of these minions in this situation, looking at the current wave?
Because then I'd end up pushing him in.
Yeah, your minions would start to push to him, and then he can freeze him.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Right now, you guys have the same number of minions, but your minions are lower health, so it's going to push into you, obviously, right?
Which gives me, yeah.
Then you can farm for free, and that's what you want, because you also see their jungler. The only time, so there is a lot to lane phase. So typically speaking, if we're in a shitty matchup, we want the wave to be easy to farm like this, but there's only one problem, and that is you can get dove if you get too low health, and the enemy jungle can dive you, or Tryndamere or Wukong hits level 5. If you watch me, especially playing Renekton a lot, I played a lot of Renekton the last couple days. I'll play Renekton, I'll basically really, I always say, I'm stacking a wave and I'm gonna dive. A lot of times I hit level 5, the enemy are still level 3 because I build up a giant wave, and then I sometimes just straight up dive them without jungle, and obviously if jungle's there, it's a free dive. So you don't actually have to worry about this in Emerald. There's no way that this guy named 65339595, I don't know why that's his name, he's not gonna do that to you. So you don't really have to worry about it, but something I want you to be aware of is that a good player will be stacking that wave on you and looking for a dive. But that doesn't matter right now. Why do you not have to be worried about a dive right now?
I'm not sure.
Because you just saw the enemy jungle a second ago.
Yeah,
so
right.
They can't really be there. And you're not going to get completely dove here. You're not low enough to get dove 1v1. So that's why. But so basically, if we're in shitty matchups, level advantages matter a lot. Don't push the wave when it's going to naturally push into you. Be okay with soaking up minion XP and gold just from being near it. You don't have to last it, everyone. You can, because do we really care if we're down 200 gold as Tryndamere to Wukong?
No.
After lane phase, we're gonna outscale him super hard, so we don't care. And Sion is the same. I mean, Sion's a bit different because sometimes you're dying on purpose to Sion, but it's the same thing where you outscale almost
Sion,
everyone.
you'll get to see a little more laning phase skill out of me with Sion.
Yeah, I mean, it's a champion you played a lot more. It makes sense.
Right? Yeah.
And Tryndamere is a shit laner anyway, so it makes sense that it's gonna be more problematic, but these fundamental things you're doing are things that apply to every champion. So these level advantage things and whatnot, that's really, again, you trade here. I mean, we saw this already, but yeah, those types of things are, and then this is where then you're diveable now because you took so much health. This is when he can actually dive.
And he's level 5.
Yeah,
it's all doom.
Yeah, and that's what happens. So yeah,
got his flash.
Yeah, he did do that. Okay, another wave management problem. So he recalled here. Do you have vision here?
No, I didn't have vision there at that time.
No, but you do know he recalled either way, because obviously he's backing off. He's obviously going to recall. So what can you do in a situation like this when you know? So what do you want him? Do you want to interact with him in lane phase right now? Yes or no?
No, I shouldn't.
So how can you make it so you don't have to interact with him for a long period of time right now, given the fact that you know he just recalled?
Just holding the wave,
No, push the wave. Why would I say push the wave?
so it crashes into his turret,
Yeah.
and then he loses minions, and it starts pushing toward me
He's
as
probably
well.
not going to lose minions. He'll get there in time. But yes, pushing the wave under the tower is correct, because then he gets stuck under his tower, and you get the ability to go do like what you just did, which is kill the ward. Also, don't take control ward anymore, but you can.
Oh,
Yeah, warding, just take yellow wards, then you get 2 of them, and you can ward camps. The main information you need as a Baron laner is where's enemy jungler,
okay.
and you don't want to obviously control ward an enemy jungle camp, because then they'll see it. So you just want to do yellow ward. But yeah, we push it under his tower, because if you don't push it under his tower, then he'll come to the wave, it'll be even, you're going to be down a level, and he'll trade with you, or you'll lose minions because you won't walk up to trade. Whereas if you push the wave right away, well, we know he's not here, it crashes under his turret. What happens to, where will the next wave meet if you crash this wave?
It's just now spawning from my nexus.
Yeah, so where will it meet? Like in your lane, where will it meet? At what point in the lane? Even at someone's turret, at your turret, like where?
Gosh, I think his turret.
No, it will meet evenly. Unless you crash it late, and then because you crashed it late, the wave meets it and gets stuck here a little bit.
Okay.
But if you crash it early enough, the minions will die before his minions get there, which means then they'll never face any interference, so they'll meet.
God, I'm gonna have to work on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna run like a bunch of norms and just look at the wave and manage the wave.
You're playing
No
norms. You're playing
objectives.
an emerald, so you're playing norms. It's the same thing. So, no, genuinely, like when I say this, like,
Yeah.
obviously I have a very sarcastic manner of speaking, so it sounds like,
No,
but like really, like you are not going to.
ARAM.
There's no reason to do this stuff. Just do it in ranked. Like at the end of the day, you're not gonna like fall to like plat. So you might as well just learn these things in ranked against people who are actually your skill level, instead of going and playing against a gold player who's not paying attention to this or not taking it seriously. Because even if you're playing against a challenger player in PvP, you know what I mean?
like that. Yeah.
So yeah, you sit here, then you don't hit it. So now he's gonna come here and he'll fuck you on the wave again. Whereas again, you could have just crashed it. Then you would have some time to do something like ward a camp, which then you can find the enemy jungle. And it's very important to know where like a Volibear is, because obviously he can set up and dive. And then look what you do with the wave now. Now you push the wave into him, but because you pushed it so late, you don't fully crash it. So now you have, again, 6 minions to 4 minions. What's going to happen with the wave if nobody touches it? You have 6, they have 4.
It's gonna push into his tower.
Exactly. And because he's probably relatively human, he will freeze it on you, right? Are you aware of what a freeze is? Just want to make sure the terminology
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So he'll freeze it on you, and you're level 7, or you're level 6, he's level 7, he will completely fuck you again. Anytime that he has a level advantage, and here you're just in general, you're weak early game champion, he has level advantage, and he has better items than you. So there's no way you can ever play the game. So the only way that you can play the game is by finding ways to not play the game, which is pushing the wave when he's not there, crashing it under a tower, then making sure the wave is always pushing into you, or at least neutral, so you can soak up some XP from it. Never over pushing, because say that, again, we're in a wave, say right now, where say this current blue minion is dead, so it's just even 2-2. If you don't hit the wave and you only soak XP from it, while he hits it every once in a while to last hit, it will naturally push into you, because he's pushing 1 more auto than you. So it's just going to naturally push into you. And so even if you lose a minion or 2, again, it's about cutting our losses. The same way we said we're fine being down 200 gold. Well, when you're already down, you're probably down 500 to 1,000 gold at this point. When you're already down that much, I don't care about bleeding like 200 more gold. You know, like that's like, it's going to happen anyway. You're down a lot to an early game champ. That's not really your goal. Your goal at this point in the game, especially since your team is losing, is to pretty much not bleed too much, and then find a time where the enemy rotate to take a fight and just get some turrets. Like you're never gonna fight them, you know, when you're behind this much. You're just hoping at some point later on in the game Wukong rotates and then you get to get gold from the side waves, because you're not really gonna be able to team fight, and you're not gonna be able to fight him on side because you're behind too much right now. So, and so even
You're
if,
absolutely right.
So even if you did push it like this, you have to push it all the way. I don't care if you take a
Okay.
bunch of damage from him at this point. Like, you can use your ult to
I
get
should
the
have
wave clear.
ulted and pushed the wave and
Yeah.
backed.
I mean, you can try your best to not use your ult. Like, it's possible because he's also Heartsteel, so he's not going to do that much damage.
Yeah.
So it's possible you could, get it without without ulting. But yeah, if you have to ult, I'm fine with you ulting. Because again, like, we're just trying to not lose anything rather than, you spin out even though you have your W or whatever your heal is. I think it's W.
Q.
But Q, okay. So yeah, is your E your dash thing or?
Yes.
Okay.
Q, E, W is the slow.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, you can see, again, shit players like him, they'll push into you for free, right? Like, this is what most of the other players will do when you're in a bad spot. They're just going to push it into you, and then you don't even lose that much. So this is the nice thing, too, about playing against bad players is most of the time, they'll just, like, they don't know the wave management stuff either. And so he does this, and then you walk up and trade, but why? You only have 2 minions left. He has, like, 5. They're going to push into you.
I was being impatient and wanted it to crash already. Yeah.
And it's just like, it doesn't make sense. There's no reason. But I understand the impatience. But we're not thinking about this. Then you lose your ult. And then like, okay, we literally could have used our ult to clear the wave as we spoke about 20 seconds ago.
What a fucking noob. This guy sucks.
It's a very common thing, though. And Baron lane is by far the hardest lane in the game, by the way. Like, this is, if I'm coaching a support player with the same level of skill, you don't see these, like, they don't get punished for these mistakes. And then, are you just angry at your teammate, or?
Yeah, so I got tilted. I forgot to tell you I had a treat for you in here.
Yeah.
1 second.
And so then you just start running it down, so there's going to be nothing to coach. Because my only coaching is to have better mental. Then we go back to playing normal. But yeah, I mean, you're in Emeralds.
No, I don't start running it down, I promise. There's a bit more. It's okay.
You're trolling him a bit, then you get back to playing normal here.
Yeah.
But like, genuinely, like, don't get me wrong, I get frustrated at teammates, and oftentimes I get more frustrated at teammates when I'm the one playing worse for whatever reason. Like, that makes me more annoyed. Or at least when I fall behind, even if I don't think it was my fault. Like, if I fall behind or I'm having a bad game, I get more tilted and I want to run my teammates down. But like, you're always going to get trolled, and if you're like, do you know what your current win rate is or no?
50%.
Okay, so your win rate is 50%. Now, luckily for you, Riot Games suck at their jobs, and so you can climb with a 50% win rate. But normally speaking, obviously you want a higher win rate than 50% to climb,
right?
Just of course. And so you do this every once in a while. I'm sure it's not the first time you ever. Yeah. And so I'm sure you would agree that you lose at least 1% extra games, if not 2 or 3, because you do this dumb shit.
Because of my ego and pride, yeah.
And so it's like, well, if you're even trying to get better at the game or you're trying to climb, like, you have to eliminate. This is the easiest thing. You don't have to learn anything new, like, whereas all the things I'm telling you, they're actually going to require you to think. You literally just have to not troll your teammates, and your win rate already goes up a lot. So, like, that is the simplest thing to improve if your goal is to get out of
It's okay to be carried.
Yeah, of course. I mean, well, top lane is the role you need to be a support, I guess, as well. But top lane, like, I always think of it as a second support. I'm not trying to carry the game from support. I'm trying to outvalue my opponent. So what this means is, like, pretty much finding ways to be useful. One, obviously, if you're actually strong, which you're going to be able to do when you lane better. But then two, when you do fall behind, understanding how you can provide value from your team and how you can actually win. So even though, again, you're down 4.5k gold. Again, I'm sure you've watched high elo streamers at some point, and they play games, they're down 10k gold, and then they come back. Or they're up 10k gold and their teammates throw and they get mad. Either way, you're watching sovereign level players throw games from 10k. So you really think you can't come back 4.5k down against Emeralds? Like, they're very often going to throw games like this. I played 5 accounts last season, all from like roughly gold. A couple were started slightly higher, but roughly from gold to sovereign. And I experienced a lot of games where even when I'm smurfing, my team's down 3-4k gold, and I'm able to just come back and win anyway because people have no idea how to end games. So, like, being down 4.5k gold is easier than winning a sovereign game from like even gold. Like, you don't actually have to do anything that crazy. This game is completely winnable. We've seen, for example, even though the Wukong is beating you in lane, he's beating you in lane because his champion is stronger early. You guys are both just running at each other, auto-attacking each other without thinking about the wave. So he's not going to start, magically being a genius, just going across the map and doing really smart things. And so the point is, obviously have better mental and just don't give up, because ultimately comebacks are extremely common in this elo and even in higher elos. So yeah, pretty much just that. Again, you get the
Look
wave.
at that fat wave.
Yeah, and that's fine. getting the wave pushed, obviously that's your main goal. And again, I'm pretty fine when your ult comes up for you to just, again, trade on the wave, just get the wave pushed. Because again, he's going to get spell rotations on you at some point. Your goal is just minimize the amount of spell rotations he can get on you. So right now, do you know what Wukong abilities do, by the way? Just curious.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now,
I was a PC League player
so you know a decent amount
for
about champs and
quite a
whatnot.
few years. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So then he EQs onto you. Okay, he EQ'd and then you backed off. Well, he has nothing. He W'd as well after. So he literally has 0 spells. You should use the time he has 0 spells to push the wave. And then in this case, you can honestly proxy, because your goal is really just to be, you know, basically Scion 2.0.
Damn it, dude.
So you see, like, he uses everything, and then this is when you back off, and now he's going to be able to do the same thing again, and it's, you know, again, very problematic. So
Understood. That's very wow. Yeah.
and then same thing here. Once again, you E away after he does everything. We want to trade back when people use spells, not let them just, you know, again, get everything for free. Then he builds up a big push, and then again, the wave is pushing into you, and then this is when you decide to trade, instead of trading when you can actually get the wave fully cleared earlier. And now 2 waves are hitting you instead of 1, because it's at this point 6 minions stacked up or whatever. So you kind of lose all your HP, and yeah, I think you die. Yeah.
Yep.
So, oh, you clicked gold. That's good. Also, your team isn't even far behind, so you're down 2,500 gold, and your team is down what, like 3,500 or something. So, this is what I mean by top lane being a supportive role. If you're able to ever make it so that the enemy top laner is not in a fight, your team is only functionally down 1,000 gold in that fight. Whereas if the Wukong goes and you go, they're down 3.5k. So your goal right now is make Wukong stuck in lane longer, which again you do by having waves pushed after he trades on you, and then making him kind of stay longer, and especially around like objective spawn timers, try to just make him like use your ult to just keep him there, or like just try as long as possible to keep him there. So you always have to be thinking about like, what can I do given the current state of the game. Again, your champions, Tryndamere and Sion, are champions who can play very well from behind just by sitting on side lane and being annoying. I don't really mind you farming, like, I know you're kind of trolling, I think, but I don't mind farming the small camps. Just don't farm the buff. But you can farm Gromp and the other thing, because you have nothing to do when your jungle's not here. But I wouldn't farm the buff. Yeah.
Generally, I don't farm the buff.
Yeah.
This part was trolling, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, farming the other camp because the wave is just going to push into you naturally is fine. And then... So again, instead of going the fight, you definitely want to just push here, and you do that, so that's good. And then yeah, this is basically, in your Sion mains is probably going to be a pretty common thing that you're going to be thinking about, is just push while people are fighting, which is good. And this is when you found the most value in the entire game. Even though Wukong did get to go, at least you get something out of it. And then again, when the objective spawns is when I want you to start basically just showing yourself. But instead you went to the team fight. So again, we don't want to be team fighting against Wukong ever, but side laning against him, your champion is a good side laner. And again, you're just trying to stall, so he's not in the team fight, because that's when he's going to carry the game. Instead, you go to a team fight where you are useless here. You do basically no damage. Your teammate hooked him out of the Vex ult. That's hilarious. But yeah, you go here and you're team fighting against Wukong. Like, he's way, way stronger than you guys, so you can't really do anything here. And if you were on top, just pushing top right now, like, that's going to either draw someone to you or give you a tier 2 turret. Either way, that's way better than whatever you're doing. You have QSS. Don't buy QSS when you're behind this much. Also, I don't know why you even have QSS. Wukong ult is not something to QSS. Like, it's not that.
Okay.
Like, it's like a very brief knock-up, and then
yeah,
he just chases you. It's not really something you're going to QSS away from. And then, again, the time where QSS is going to make sense. One, I usually wouldn't buy it until after like 3 items, because if you spend 800 gold when you only have like say 6,000 gold, that's a much larger percentage of your overall gold income, and therefore you're you're spending 800 gold on something that does no damage. Whereas if you have 12,000 gold, that's, half as much of your gold income. You already have a lot more damage at that point, so it makes more sense. It's also better when you're ahead, because when you're ahead, you want things to stop you from dying. When you're behind, you want things that allow you to still potentially have the damage to kill someone, because you're pretty much trying to trade yourself 1-for-1 if you are going to a team fight. You're not trying to
the goal
actually,
pretty much
carry.
Every time.
Yeah. Whereas if you're really fed, then obviously trading 1-for-1 is not valuable, because if you're 11,000 gold and you die for 9,000 gold, obviously not good trade. So QSS would be good if we were going into this team fight trying to fuck everyone, and you knew like, okay, there's a Volibear Sun, there's a Wukong, there's a Karma, like there's like a decent amount of things, and then you would do that when you're fed. But you do it now, again, you QSS nothing. Like you didn't actually think there's a spell I want to QSS. You just got low and then you clicked QSS, even though nothing was stunning you. So there's also that part. Is like we want to have a very clear understanding of, okay, it's literally Volibear stun, Karma root, and Wukong ult. All of these things you can react to really easily. Like none of them are like predicting. They're all like oh, Volibear's running at you, he's gonna stun you when he's close to you. Karma, you literally see the W on you for 2 seconds. And then again, you're doing this instead of pushing side. Your team's only down 2,000 gold, and you're down over 2,000 gold. So your teammates are still stronger than the enemy. All you have to do is sit on side lane permanently and draw anyone on the enemy team to you, and your team will likely win a decent amount of fights. But instead, no one has to get drawn to you because you're not showing that you exist. Nobody knows you exist because emeralds have no object permanence. So if you're not showing on the screen, you're not there. That's how they think of it. And so you show yourself by the time the fight starts. What were you saying? That was there.
I'm a goldfish.
Yeah, which is very common, so it's fine. And yeah, at this point you push, but like by the time you started pushing, again, since you started pushing like 15 seconds later, the enemy went for you or went for a Baron instead of you. Whereas if you showed a lot earlier, you likely would have been able to stall a bit.
Absolutely.
So there's that. Then for some reason they just don't know you exist. So that works.
I know, this is funny.
Yeah. I mean, it seems kind of, yeah, and you still end up winning this game, or at least you have a very good chance of winning. So like,
I think we did win, yeah.
Yeah. And again, you QSS nothing. I get that one makes a little more sense because you thought he might ult you right away. But yeah. And then yeah, I mean, you just sit on. So again, like your goal is to sit on side here, and for some reason you're running at other people. Like we've already established, the only thing your champion's doing in this game is someone gets drawn to you. And at this point, you have a little bit of gold because you did get some turrets, so you're not like super weak. But the enemy have, I think their Baron's expired now, yeah, but they had Baron and they have waves pushing and they have someone on side lane, but and you're going for a team fight 1v3. Your teammates are kind of,
it's already over.
Yeah, and you're also not gonna like one shot these people. Like Karma, it looks like Karma's building tank. She has a lot of,
she's buff. And then Vex missed. Why did I go in? Yeah, no.
Yeah. You do live though, so I mean, it's
not the worst.
Yeah, you lost bot turret from it, and then you really wanted to farm her. It's funnier that you're farming blue buff given the fact that you don't have mana. And then again, you farm red buff instead of going bot. When if you get this bot pushed out, again, like you're still mad at your teammate, even though. So it's also like, I'm sure you've had the games where your teammate trolls a bit when you're down 7,000 gold, and it's like it's not that unreasonable to troll when you're down 7,000 gold. But then you make a play, and now all of a sudden you're down like 2,000 gold, and you're fed. And then your teammate still trolls you because he just refuses to admit that now he's getting carried. Like that's what's happening. Like at this point, you're actually in a winning position as a team. Like you keep winning fights even though you're literally not trying to win. And so yeah, I mean, and then you eventually go here. This is obviously good because the enemy are overextended and you go onto them. And I'm completely happy with you trading yourself 1-for-1. Do you have Collector though? I'm not a fan of Collector at all.
I don't think I have Collector. Maybe it would have been my fourth item this game.
9999. What the fuck else would it? 999. Yes, you have Collector.
Okay, yeah.
Fucking Jesus Christ, trying to lie to me. That's crazy. No, I'm kidding, but yeah, you definitely have Collector.
Yes, I did.
I'm not gonna pretend to know exactly what I'd build in this champion. I would look at what top players are building. Maybe the top players are building Collector. People do build this item.
Yeah, I got this build from YouTube, so
yeah,
there's that.
I mean, building crit, like, it's good enough, you know.
It's
like,
attack speed. Yeah. It's attack speed focus, the runes, and a couple of the items. Like you build magnetic for
wave
the
clear.
Attack speed and some range and wave clear.
Yeah, no, the magnetic I know is fine. I don't know what people go on this champ. Yeah, I mean, you building crit, copying someone. I mean, Collector's not the end of the world. Like it's not like an awful item, but yeah.
Now tell me here. I feel like my team should give Baron here, and we go Dragon, right?
Why?
Because Amumu's all the way in base. They're at Baron. I'm at Dragon. I could start it. Amumu comes here. We get Dragon. We push bot. We might get the turret. We probably won't because they have Baron. But we'd back off and get an objective and push a wave.
What does Dragon do for you here?
It gives us an objective. Whereas if we go Baron, we die. There's no way we take it. They would have it before Amumu gets there. The rest of our team is already there fighting, so they're going to die. That was my thought here. I was like, why are you guys up there? You know, and what am I going to do?
So there are many, many things wrong with what you just said to me. which is good because that's what you pay me to teach you. So
Yeah.
the first thing is, how many of the enemy are dead?
2.
What are the enemy HP bars that aren't dead?
Pretty low.
Very low. How are they going to do Baron?
True.
Not only that, but they haven't yet started it. Even if everyone on the enemy team was full health here, you have 2 more people than them. You currently have a 3v3 top side. Your Amumu will eventually go there. You can either take the TP thing there, because you're right next to it, or you can continue to push bot and just, which I would do, I would just push bot and get a turret out of it. But no, your teammates are 100% going to stop them, even if they're all full health. There's no way the enemy, like, and also they don't have that much DPS. They have a tank Wukong, their jungler is dead, and they only have one ADC who can really deal any DPS to it. They're not, it's going to take them probably 15-20 seconds with no one touching them to do it. So they have very low damage on it, and you have numbers advantage and you have health advantage. So from this, you understand, you agree, your team can contest Baron,
Yeah, I
correct?
should have been running there. I should
No.
have been running there.
No, you still
Yeah.
shouldn't have. So first thing is, your team could have stopped it, but that's not actually what's important, because what's important is what you can take away to generalize to more games, not what happened in this individual game. So that's obvious, right? We can see when we actually take in the information, which you agree with me. The only thing I did was give you the information, which was the health bars and the numbers, and you
Yeah.
were able to answer. I didn't have to teach you anything. It was just you
Yeah.
actually taking the information. So the first thing is, you're not taking in the information correctly. You're not paying attention to it. And that's probably because you're tilted and blaming your jungler and you're running around kind of like I get it. Like, I do this. Like, watch my stream. I think yesterday I was flaming my team a bunch. Like, I was tilted. It happens. I get it. But if we look at it clearly, you know, the information being taken was wrong. That's the first thing. The second thing is, what does Dragon give you? What is Infernal Dragon buff? Do you know?
Just a little more AD, right? AD
It's
ratio.
like 3% extra AD or damage, something like that.
Yeah.
And so 3% AD, if you have 200, is 6 AD, right? So you get 6
Oh,
AD
wow.
per person. So how much does a longsword give? It gives 12. So you're literally getting
Yeah.
250 gold value per person. So you're getting 1250 gold value overall, but
Yikes.
really, like, that's not actually ever going to change the game. So in my mind,
Yeah.
it's basically 0. And then look at the dragons. You each have 1 dragon. Why is that relevant?
Yeah.
Why is it relevant that each of you have 1 dragon?
Well, because nobody will have soul, right?
Exactly. So the 3rd dragon doesn't fucking mean shit
Okay.
at all.
Damn.
And I don't think you care when I'm swearing, so I just,
No, you're cool.
Yeah. So each team has 1 dragon, and very often people do this. They force random dragons that don't give you soul. So you get
Yeah.
basically nothing. Whereas if you get soul, you get like 2 or 3 times as much of the buff. Basically, you get some extra random shit. Like, I don't know
Okay.
exactly how it works. I forget the exact numbers, but you get something that's actually valuable. You know, it's worth
Yeah.
thousands of gold. However, Baron is still more valuable than soul. So even if you are deciding, still goes Baron over soul. So that's just another thing. But yeah, if it's, each team has a dragon, the dragon does not matter unless your goal is to use the dragon to fight because you want to fight. But you have a
Okay.
better fight at Baron, so it doesn't matter. So again, 2 things to take away: take in the information properly, make an assessment based on that. Then don't value dragon if it's not soul. And dragons in general aren't that important. You go to dragons with the purpose of winning the fight and getting gold from it, not really from the purpose of getting the objective.
Okay.
Unless, like, it's completely free, you know, like, say you win a fight, you take Baron, and then dragon's up. Like, you can take the dragon, obviously.
Right.
So there's that. There's those 2 things. And then the third thing is, your teammates are going to win that fight anyways, very, very easily. So it's completely overkill for you to go topside, because you told me you think you should actually go Baron once you took in the information. But you could go bot, push bot, get a 200 gold wave. You're going to get another 200 gold wave in a little bit, and then you're going to get a tier 2 turret, which I don't actually know exactly how much, but it's going to give you like 1,000 gold. So you're going to get like 1,500 gold from that play, roughly. The 1,000 gold goes to some tier team as well. Obviously, you don't get all 1,000, but 1,500 gold overall play, and your team is going to get Baron, or at least get some kills. Rather than you going to Baron and winning the fight harder when you already would have won the fight. So does that all make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Cool. And so again, you, for some reason, like, your goal is to push the turret here, not get a Gromp. So now, like, by the time you do push this, you're still going to get it, because again, the enemy are very, very slow to react. But we want to be first getting the wave, getting the turret, because wave will die to turret. So you'll do some
And the
of, like,
Gromp
their
will
wave.
still be there.
Yeah, the Gromp will always be there. So yeah, exactly. And then at this point, you can take whatever you want here. You know, you can just sit here, and basically you're just going to continue to sit on side. and go away from your team. So if your team goes bot, you go top. If
Okay.
your team goes top, you go bot. You're just trying to be away from your team and just split somewhere. I'm fine with you being top here. Like, this is fine. And just, but again, the camp doesn't matter. Like, we want to be pushing that top wave because we have a limited amount of time while all the enemy are grouping mid here. We want to use that time to get something top.
Absolutely.
And also when you're in a game like this, low key, like, I don't mind going Hullbreaker late, like fourth, fifth item. Just be like, okay, all I'm doing is side laning. I'm just gonna take Hullbreaker.
Mhm.
But yeah, basically just get this and spin out. Again, stop hitting him. Your goal is this. You need to understand what your goal is with the game. Like, you need to stop thinking like, oh, I just chase a kill. Like, what's your actual goal? Your purpose here
Nexus.
is to use Baron to get some turrets. There's no
Yeah.
objective up. So even if one person dies, you don't get more from them dying because you don't have an objective spawning for 1 minute and 53 seconds until Elder spawns.
Right.
And so
We got
that
people
matters is
behind
turrets.
us. Yeah.
yeah. So you just get this and you spin out. Instead, you go and you chase a super tanky member, and you lose your ult. That is interesting. I mean, one person died at least, so it's not like it's like a super bad outcome. But again, it just didn't do anything really.
Right.
When you could have
Didn't
recalled, then you
actually
could have started
benefit.
pushing bot, and then you recall, you start pushing bot. A lot easier, of course.
I see. Yeah.
And then yeah, here you literally just sit topside as the Elder spawning because the enemy guaranteed have to send someone to you or you're going to end the game top. And then when they send someone to you, use the fact that they send someone to you to then run Elder, and now boom, we have a numbers advantage. Instead, you go and you 5v5. What's the only way you lose this game? It's if you guys randomly lose a 5v5 at Elder. Like, that's the only way you can lose at this point. And
Yeah.
you're allowing for that possibility to occur. Obviously, it's probably not gonna because you're still ahead. But again, you go and chase a fight when you have a guaranteed way to win the game, which is just side lane, draw someone to you, and then go 5v4. And instead, we just 5v5.
The enemy fucking throws harder, I guess. So.
Well, I mean, at that point, you were going to win regardless, most likely. But again, it's like there's a 5% chance of you throwing, and you decided to make the action that had a 5% lose rate, whereas you
Right.
could have taken something that will never lose. And so,
Yeah.
a lot of your decisions, early game, relate to all that wave management stuff we talked about, which again, I'm going to write notes for you at the end, so you don't have to remember everything I'm telling you. But we'll have all those early game things, and then late game, mid game, your goal is 1, have better mental, which that's really just up to you. And then the other thing again is
Understood.
just understanding our actual goal, so we don't trade into a champion randomly when our goal is to have pressure 35 seconds from now. Because if we trade into him now, when there's no objective spawning, we lose health, we might lose our cooldowns. We need those cooldowns to stall 30 seconds from now. Or again, just going to side lane, realizing our goal is just use this Baron to just push sides, not to take like a random Gromp or that type of thing. So yeah,
Okay.
forget. I always stop the recording so I don't forget. So. Yeah, in the future, by the way, put the Fog of War to this, because then I only see what you
Okay.
would see. Doesn't really
Okay,
matter,
all right.
but it's
I
slightly
did the
better.
same thing as last game, by the way. I went wrong lane,
Yeah,
and that time I did it much worse.
So clearly you're like not paying attention to the start of the game. Like,
Yeah.
just wait 2 more minutes to queue up if you're like, eating or you're doing whatever you're doing. Like, there's no reason
Yeah.
to be so distracted, because that's already, again, like half of your problems do relate to just focus and stuff like that, where again, I ask you the question, you immediately can tell me, so clearly there's something else.
Yeah.
Your fucking HUD is so small, it looks so weird.
It changes. I did that on accident on purpose, and
I don't
I
really
changed
care.
it later.
It's just funny. Like, it doesn't change anything, but
Yeah.
yeah. And here, okay. So, do you know what Jax does?
Yeah.
So then, are you aware of what makes his E do more damage?
No, I guess.
Okay. So when the E takes damage, part of that damage is converted into damage against you. That's why
Oh.
a Jax wants to auto attack you to draw aggro from minions, and then E, because
And
then
then it gives him
he
more
takes the
damage
aggro
out.
from the minions. But also, you
Okay.
auto into it. This is why I'm telling you. You autoed it. I think you even autoed it again. You autoed it. You didn't quite. Your second auto didn't quite go off, but you autoed him once, and you tried to auto him twice. So it
Yeah.
did more damage to you. So again, awareness of how champions work is important. It's fine that you didn't know that random thing. That's kind of a pretty random thing to not know. You know the champions.
Yeah, that's a little
abilities, so
more of a detailed ability
yeah.
thing than
And
yeah.
there's, it's fine. You mostly know how the ability works, but
Yeah.
even if that wasn't a thing, you should probably be backing off when it's going to stun you regardless.
I just knew that he was going to lose the trade overall, though,
Yeah.
because he was being way too aggressive with a Scion. You know what I mean? Like, and he
Yeah,
started with his stun instead of his empowered.
No, he should start the stun. But the problem is, so he actually should win this trade.
Okay.
Based on what we talked about, where is it that he used? Based on what we talked about, in the previous game, why is it that he doesn't win this trade when he should? Like,
Because
what was
he's
the
in the
main thing
middle
we
of my
talked about
minions.
early game?
Well, he's in the middle of my minions, so he's gonna take all the aggro.
But again, we just talked about how he's jacked, so that doesn't matter because of his E. So, but what last game? What was like the biggest thing early game apart from wave management? What was it about the minions like that we really wanted you to know? That was
I
important
wasn't
for you to learn?
focusing on getting a level up.
Exactly. So now look at him. What's he not doing?
He's not focusing on getting a level up
Imagine
either.
he autoed these minions while he was Eing you. He would win the trade because he'd get level 2 and then he'd W you and then you would lose the trade. So the only
Shit.
reason that he doesn't, and he didn't even really lose the trade, he already had a lot less health than you. It's still a roughly even trade for him. He also is a fucking idiot. He has phase rush. He should have grasp, or at the very least fleet. But if he has grasp, he also wins that hard on you. But yeah, not taking grasp, he's completely trolling, and he doesn't play for level advantage, and he backs off. So
Okay,
again,
so I just got lucky with a auto-filled laner here.
well, he's probably not auto-filled. He's emerald, which is, I guess, the same thing, even if you're on your main role and you're emerald. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that he's emerald that he's not going to know this. Most of the people you play against won't do this. Again, he tries to stun you with a shield instead of using his E to get these minions, and then again he's not going to fully level up from that, but he'll have prio. So you can see that, and I'm focusing on his mistakes because they're very similar to your previous mistakes. But we can see, so like with the fact that he's not focused on this, so this is a situation where I talked about previously. Also, I don't know why is your Lee Sin AFK? I just noticed that. I think he might be. Yeah, he is. That doesn't matter. But
I didn't notice that.
yeah, I didn't either. Well, now I did. But yeah, I'm getting distracted. The point is, we have a pretty big wave here compared to his wave. And so this means that you're going to level up first again. So there's two options you have. One is to hard push it, and the other is to let it build up bigger and bigger. Here you want to let it build up bigger and bigger because it allows you to eventually create that level 5 to level 3/4 dive opportunity we were speaking about previously. Again, that's why I was looking at jungle, because obviously if our jungle is pathing towards us, it's more effective. But it's fine either way because you get to trade around level advantages. And so the point is, your goal right now is just keep this minion lead. So when he walks up, you know, you're going to trade with Q or whatever. Going to use your W to get prio on the wave. But you're not going to hard push. You're not going to keep autoing and autoing and autoing. You're just going to auto for last hits, make sure that you have the minion lead, and then let this next wave that's going to come in like 20 seconds, let that wave come.
Okay.
Then you're going to build up a bigger wave. And the bigger and bigger your waves build up, the more XP advantage you have, the harder it is for the enemy to trade. And sometimes they're going to do the dumb shit you did as Tryndamere last game, and they'll walk into you and you'll get completely free stuff. And if they don't do that, you get to crash a big wave on them. Crashing a big wave gives you one of two options: either recall for boots, or obviously stay in and, you know, dive or fight.
This is just making me realize that like all the times that has happened has been on accident. Like I'm realizing that I've had waves crash in like that with like 8 minions because I froze it sort of, but then pushed it, and then they try and come in and clear it, and then they die, and it's never been on purpose. And now I think I might be able to hone that. So yeah.
And this is why I told you I like coaching top lane. It's so much more fun than like junglers because I can talk about these things and there's a lot more intention behind it. And so again, we just spoke about your goal. Your goal is what? Slowly build up this wave. Look what you did. You just queued like everything. So now it's gonna push way faster than you want. So again, like when do you know that you can land your Q guaranteed every single time?
When he comes in to hit a minion.
And when's he gonna go hit a minion?
When they're low at
Exactly.
the least.
And look at your minions. Your minions are full health, like except for your cannon, but your minion
right.
But he's not going to go for that. So your minions are full health, and you're doing this. If you did this when they're low health, it's a lot better. And it a lot of times makes them back off, and then they even lose like a full minion. Instead, look how hard you're pushing this. You're pushing it way too hard, to the point that again you're going to accidentally. I think you will accidentally have this minion wave come before the next wave crashes. But you could have done it intentionally, and if you did it intentionally, the minions would be so much higher health that you might even be able to get another wave after this one. And if you get that big of a wave, your level advantage is going to be 1.5 to 2 levels. And again, if your jungler's not AFK, very often your jungler will gank because this health lead is pretty big. I'm not saying your jungler is going to gank every time. I'm aware that sometimes they won't notice, but they will notice sometimes. And when they do notice, if you kill him on that dive, you get like an 1,000 gold lead. You crash multiple. Are you going demolish as well?
Definitely, yeah.
So you have demolish, you're crashing a huge wave, he loses a bunch of the minions.
Getting at least 3 plates
and
if he dies on the turret.
Yeah, and if you have a better jungler, like again, it's not going to happen to Emerald, but if you have like an actual high elo jungler, what's going to happen is you do that dive, you say you dive him level 5 to level 3. you do that, continue to push the wave, stay on the turret, and when he comes back after respawning, he's still level 3 and you're level 5 and your jungler's level 5, you re-dive him, you go up like 1500, 2000. That's not going to happen
Yeah.
every game. That's like happens once every 20, 30 games.
Situational, yeah.
But that's something that will happen, and you win the game instantly when that happens.
Mhm.
And so being aware of that gives you an extra 1 win of every 20 games, 30 games, whatever. And again, you're doing it on
Right.
Scion, which is like, Scion's way more OP with gold and way better scaling compared to if you're doing this on like Renekton. Obviously, you can still, it's easier to throw because he's just weaker later on in the game. But we can see here, look how close you were to getting another wave, but you were completely unaware of the fact you wanted another wave to be stacking bigger,
and
and then it
fucking
crashes.
pushed.
And now, again, he's not down nearly as much as he should be. He's still, and also then you're spamming your abilities again as well, because you're kind of constantly queuing rather than queuing when minions are low, which means your mana's really low. So it's kind of another separate issue. It's not as big of an issue because I'm pretty fine, and then I think he just lets you kill him anyway. Oh, you have TP, you don't have Ignite. I was wondering why. Yeah, that makes sense. It's fine to have TP. I didn't think about it.
What did he die from there?
I don't even know. Yeah, maybe a minion like late autoed him. Let's see. Oh yeah.
Oh, it was.
There's minions. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Minions, baby, minions.
And I mean, that's like the shit that does happen because the minions target people when you have huge amounts of minions. Like they take a bunch of minion damage, which is a separate but important. And it's less important in the Jax, but it's generally good. And so you were right. This is literally accidentally pretty much doing what we said, which is stacking a big wave and crashing it. There's no reason to stay for this additional wave. You already have your boots. Yeah, there's no reason to stay because now like there's a chance you could get ganked here, for example. Because are you aware of jungle miners?
Yes, but like I'm not the best at tracking them at all.
So when's the first time you're likely to get ganked? Like what time?
150?
Yeah, like 150 to 220. If your jungler is pathing towards you. It turns out he's pathing away, which is why you don't get ganked here. But obviously you didn't know that, right? So
yeah, no, not at all.
That's why we want to be aware, like, that's pretty much the last wave. Like, this wave here, not this one, but this wave, like the one that crashed right before this wave gets here.
I should have been
That's the last wave that you can really fight on, unless you're one of two things. You're either so far ahead that you know you can't die 1v2, like say it's like a Shyvana jungle, and you're a super fed Renekton, and they have a super far behind Kayle. Like, you can 1v2, or at least get out, so you can be, more cocky, or if your jungler's there, obviously. But yeah, or if you know the enemy jungler, like you saw there.
Why is Shyvana so weak at ganking? Sorry, off topic.
She's weak until level 5. Once she's level 5, she can gank fine. But she's a really bad champion unless she has ult. Like, she's really ult reliant, so she can't really gank you till level 5.
Interesting.
Most
what a
champions shouldn't
handicap
gank till
champ.
level 5 though. Honestly. And then, do you actually have to TP back here?
I wanted to keep the pressure that I did have, even as accidentally as I did have it. I wanted to keep it.
What pressure are you going to have here?
Well, pushed in and level pressure. I wanted to make sure that
as we spoke about, and I understand what you're saying, so I'm sorry to cut you off. I know what you were saying, and that's reasonable. That's not like an unreasonable thought. But again, as we spoke about, as Tryndamere, enemy Wukong was recalling, that was the time I told you to just push the wave, trade a little bit of health for it. That's what he should do. He should E and just hit this wave. And I mean, again, he doesn't, so you do keep the pressure up. But like, all that would have happened if you came back a little later, you wouldn't have lost any minions, and then you would have just done the same thing on the next wave, and then you would still have TP. Which, like, what that can allow you to do is, say you find a random angle to ult towards mid, and then you ult mid, and then you can TP back. I'm not saying you're going to do that most games. It's just every once in a while you might see that angle.
Due to his skill level, it works out, though.
Yeah.
Like, he could have, in his... Yeah, I gotcha.
I mean, it would have worked. Like, you're never going to get completely screwed by that choice. Like, the choice is just you used a TP. This isn't something where it's like you're throwing the game. That's a completely reasonable choice. It's just I don't think it was necessary there. But it's a Jax. You want to make sure he doesn't get it played. Like, I'm fine with that. It's not like, again, that's more of a nitpicky thing compared to the other stuff. And then he ults to leave. Just stop fighting him while he ults, and then fight after he ults. Like, and it's just like cooldown things for you. Like, the only time that he can have a somewhat even trade with you is when he ults, and you could just fight him after. Instead, we fight him while he ults.
He gets away here, I think. Okay.
Your jungler might have been able to kill anyway.
Yeah,
it works out fine. And yeah, I mean, you're fine here. You should be able to get out. I think you can honestly fight him in the minions. Yeah,
this guy, the whole game was like that. He just classic EE player, just stood there and autoed.
And see, this is one of those times where you can be aware of the fact that you're up levels and you can
Yeah,
continue to sit here and auto him, but you kind of back off a little. Like you
because I had
could,
no mana,
yeah, I
so
don't
I couldn't
care.
even.
You're up 2 levels and you have a bunch of minions. I don't care
Yeah,
because you're just gonna get the wave push and you'll be fine. And then once the wave dies is when you kind of back off. But yeah, I guess you try to get the Q. That's fine. And then here, this is again sort of hindsighty, but if you'd recalled and then you'd had TP because you saved it, this would be valuable for you. Whereas again,
I
the
see.
waste of TP. So you can see like it matters sometimes holding these things, and instead you get stuck here lower health. And since the Jax is behind so much, it doesn't really matter.
No, right.
But yeah,
These are definitely outside of my normal box ideas that I need to
Mhm.
think of. I reported my ward to my finally non-AFK Lee Sin.
yeah. And I would say as well, we can build another big push here instead of like again, wait for this next wave to come because since your wave, the minion wave is currently on your side of the map, your
Okay.
minions are going to get here first, which again we spoke about before. That will create a natural push into the enemy. So
Mhm.
again, try to build up a wave. Like think about it, it's like a cycle. It's like we stack a big wave, then when the wave crashes, we have a couple options: dive, recall, whatever. We do that, we get back, we do it again. That's what you do when you're in a lead, when you have a stronger matchup or you're already ahead, because you have control of what happens with the wave. Obviously, when you're behind, it's more like the Tryndamere example, where it's kind of just find whatever way we can to survive, which might be
Right.
crashing the wave whenever we can or whatever. Like you might push the wave faster if you're in danger because you're like, okay, I have this brief time where I can actually get the wave under. But here again, you push it so fast, now nothing really happens from this, and then you just have to leave. And yeah,
But
Q
I'm
when the
still gonna.
minions get low here. Don't Q now. Q when the minions get low, so he loses again. Like
Yeah. Yeah. And he's just not making any. Yeah. I'm just
and then
getting
yeah,
really
just
lucky that he's not punishing anything.
why are you not demolish procking the turret, bro? Like what?
I
Look at
knew you were
this.
gonna say.
Yeah, just hit it. Like it's literally that's a
I
turret
remember
plate.
having that thought when I was recording this back for you. I was like, dude, why didn't I proc the demolish, bro?
Yeah, I mean we all do random things. It is what it is. But
Yeah.
either way, I mean you still proxy and you're fine. And again,
Yeah.
like why are
And
we
then
flashing forward? Your point is to get this turret. You're not killing Jax. Jax is currently 0-2, which means he only gives you like 200 gold at this point. Just hit the turret.
such a goober. Oh god.
I mean Sion is a fitting champion for you though. I think like with
No
the
doubt, huh?
yeah, so it's fair. And then yeah, you're no mana. Just get back and then TP back. I guess if you really want to push one more wave, it's not that bad. And again,
He
you're
gets
chasing the
away.
fight. Like you're losing a wave here. This isn't good for you. You lose minions. He is a minion. We don't care. And then you TP to the fight instead of just staying on side and having all your pressure. Like just stay on side and get the turret. You go to
Okay.
this fight super late. You're not like you're Sion, So like again, your team is behind. The way you're gonna win the game is through Sion split pushing and getting like 8 turrets, not through team fighting a bunch as Sion. Like the time where you're okay with team fighting as Sion is when we're in a matchup where the enemy is not a scary split pusher, so leaving our lane's not a big deal. So like say it's an Ornn or something, and your teammates are strong, because then your teammates just need a front line to just walk up and just be Sion. Like it doesn't matter what front line you are. If you're any champion with HP and armor and MR, you're useful because your team's ahead. They're gonna win the fight. But you're TPing the people who are behind. So it's about asking ourselves, how do we win the game? The previous game was won by you stalling and drawing someone to you on side lane because you were useless and you're Tryndamere, so you're not like a tanky champion.
Mhm.
Whereas
Yeah.
say that in that Tryndamere game you were equally as behind, but you were Sion, it would be more normal for you to go for a fight because you're going to be relatively similar to Wukong in terms of CCing and tankiness
Yeah.
or whatever. You would still split push a lot in that game even if you were Sion because you were behind so
Yeah.
much. But it's like you're actually okay with team fighting every once in a while when your team is ahead, or at least even. But you're going and you're fighting here when again,
I'm just dead here.
yeah, and it doesn't do anything. And you also
Nope.
you didn't have your ult as well. You do get a lot of heartsteel stacks though, so there's that.
Yeah, which I will say is I don't want to claim that's like the goal ultimately, but it's almost always my saving grace is just Sion. It almost doesn't matter if you die in a 5-man 1v5. You get stacks one way
How
or
much?
the other.
Yeah, but how? So Ruby Crystal gives 150 HP. Is that right? Or I think it's what it
I
gives.
think it's 200,
200. Okay,
250
so
or
that
something.
whatever. So let's say it's 200. Even if it was 150, it wouldn't really matter. The point
Yeah.
is 500 gold is worth 200 HP. You get roughly like 30 heart steel stacks per auto usually. So let's say you'd get 150, even though you would get slightly less, but just for simplicity, let's say you got 150 from, I think you hit 4 people there. So you got roughly 500 gold worth of value there. And again, less, but just roughly. And so you're giving up an entire turret for that, and you're giving up your life. Your life is 300 gold.
Okay.
Turret's going to be like 1,000 gold. So you still lost like 800 gold from that. So if we think about that mathematically, and it turns out we're only giving up a little bit less, it would be worth. Like if it's an Ornn, again, like Ornn's not going to push very hard. But if it's a Jax, a little different. And plus Jax gold, that's a lot scarier than an Ornn getting gold. You're also thinking about who's getting the gold. So like all these things, they matter. So if you're Sion, you have to think about the game in terms of numbers, like math, because that's his entire thing, is literally getting all the resources around the map while dying a bunch. So that's how you have to think about the game. And if that heartsteel stuff was worth it in that case, then I'd be fine with it. So again, just literally just go and walk and get the turret. Because again, this time, turret gives you, I don't actually know, but again, 600-700 gold, whatever.
Yeah.
Even if you die here, that's worth for you, and you'll probably get a wave after because you're Sion. You're going to stall a long time. So you'll get like a huge amount of gold value here. Do you have Bramble or?
I don't know. I show items at some point.
Okay, because the turret was hitting you, and I don't know if you just walked in it or if it's because he autoed you a Bramble. But I don't really. I guess Bramble's fine later, but I don't really see why you would do it this early.
I don't know if
Either way, I would go and get the wave. I don't really care that much. Stop fighting him and get the wave. You're Sion. Again, like the wave matters, and then fight him in the wave. Like you can just, you still can queue him in the wave and whatever. But
yeah,
just play around the wave. Like it's, again, the Jax is not scary to you. Your goal is to get push on waves and then stall. And here you can probably get a heartsteel stack and leave, honestly. Maybe you can kill him, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, again, the flash is like you're still kill focused on Sion. Like it just doesn't matter. And your champ's also really awkward at actually solo killing people, but yeah, like just be aware of
he
gold.
is.
And so yeah, like, I like that you took the camp there, because you're just getting as much gold as possible. And this is like what I want you doing more often. Use the fact that you're a mega fed to just go and hit a turret. I don't care if you die here. This is your goal. This is what your champion's doing. You're finally actually doing what your champ wants. And then yeah, I mean, you can ult out, or in this case, you don't really even have to ult out because he's just fucking not that strong. So, but again, back off. You have no mana. Like you're not gonna sit here and actually kill him here. You just, now you get out. You have no mana. Recall, and then. What's your goal during objectives usually?
If my team is ahead or even, I'm always on the side lane.
Okay, if your team is even, I would say you'd usually want to be in the side lane. If your team is behind, I would say you definitely want to be on the side lane. If your team is pretty far ahead, sometimes you can go team fight if you're really confident the team fight's going to work because they just need a front line. I think we kind of spoke about that a little earlier.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, though, yeah, you're Sion. You're mostly going to be on side lane. So the reason that's relevant, there's an objective spawning in 45 seconds. Your goal is not to TP to the fight and start fighting. Your goal is to reset, get mana, get health, buy your items, and then get the side lane pushing while the objective's going to spawn. So I'd want you to come back to bot side or pressure mid, pressure something, pressure a side lane or a mid lane while the objective's spawning. Not go and fight 40 seconds, because at 40 seconds before the objective spawns, if the enemy actually died here, they would respawn by the time the dragon comes, and it literally doesn't matter that you killed them. And instead now you're low mana, and you're walking up instead of recalling and then getting pressure on a time that matters. You're getting pressure right now, and you're also trying to 1v3 for no reason, but you're getting pressure at a time where the pressure doesn't matter. Because again, now if you die, you're fucked. Like your team now will just be fighting a 4v5. Whereas if you died, 40 seconds or like 5 seconds beforehand on the opposite side of the map, that means someone had to go to you, and then you draw them away again from the objective. And luckily, again, you're really tanky, so it kind of works. But like this isn't because of a good choice. It's just like you're
just made them overextend. Yeah.
Yeah, and like realistically, they shouldn't have been doing that. And again, go opposite side of objective. So reset, go top side, push top side as Baron spawning, not go and chase another random fight on this useless Jax who doesn't matter. That's 150 gold. That means he's like 0-4 or something. That didn't do anything. You don't win the game by killing Jax. You win the game by having complete side lane pressure during objectives. But instead, you're just going, you're trading 1-for-1. I mean, you're not trading 1-for-1 because you're not dying, but like you get the point. You're using your life for nothing. And then you just walk in again into a fight when all your teammates are back here, and your pressure isn't doing anything. Once again, your pressure is just people are autoing you. No one on your team is getting anything back for this auto. Whereas again, if you did this after you pushed out the side lanes, then at least you're getting something. But top and mid are, you know, completely even, like they're not being pushed at all. And you are getting a million Heartsteel stacks, so again, it's not like the worst thing ever. But
Yeah,
it's
but we
just,
don't. We get
it's
one
just
for one, I
messy.
think.
Yeah, it's just messy, basically.
Yeah, and then you could skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, I had trouble figuring out the zoom after I accidentally
Okay,
unadjusted it.
that's pretty funny. I do feel like getting top pressure is really important here after instead of going for a fight. Again, why do we go and fight? It's great you went mid, you got a turret, you got a kill. Now go top. What are we
Absolutely.
doing here now? You know, this doesn't do anything for us. And now we die.
Yeah.
So, again, the point is not did you make a good or bad play in that individual situation. Oh, it was Sunfire probably. But the point is that you didn't. It's not about whether or not you made a good choice in the individual situation. It's how can we generalize this to most games? And as it relates to most games, your goal is initially, even as Tryndamere, obviously especially as Sion, get side lane pressure and use that side lane pressure to draw someone to you, and then through that pressure, we then make a choice. Either the choice is to stay on side lane if we're happy with it, so we're happy with it when we're drawing someone stronger, and we can 4v4, or when we're drawing someone weak enough that we can fully hit the turret. If neither of those things are true, then once we draw someone, we just TP or ult there, because now we drew someone who maybe, you know, they can defend us, but they're also not so strong that we're like we prefer to be there, you know, end of the fight or whatever. And so in some way, shape, or form, you're using your pressure on a side lane to make the fighting better for your team. Whereas all you're doing is you don't push the wave half the time. You go to random fights, even when your teammates don't need you or when your teammates aren't there. You hit people for some Heartsteel stacks, and you hope that the enemy are dumb enough to get stalled out for a long period of time. And that's why your win rate is 50%, because the choices you're making, they're not good or bad. They're just, I go and I play the game, and if my team is better, we'll win. If my team is worse, we will lose. So it's literally just like, hope you get the better team, and that's pretty much that. Which is why, again, it's roughly 50%. And obviously trolling sometimes will obviously do that as well. And then also, again, timing our side lane pressure. So instead of pushing side lane 45 seconds before the objective, we reset 45 seconds before the objective, so we have the mana to have pressure 10 seconds before the objective. We start pushing like 20 seconds before, and then we have, you know, the way of getting already close to the enemy turret at 10, 5, 0 seconds, you know, right as it spawns. That way, that pressure is actually making someone go to you during the dragon, rather than they go to you 30 seconds before the dragon, they kill you 10 seconds before the dragon, and now they go 5v4 for free. So timing our aggression is important too. Like, this aggression is fine. I don't know, I guess you go back for some reason. I don't know what you're doing, but okay. Either way, I'm fine with this because you're going on the opposite side and drawing a bunch of people to you as Baron spawning, and you're getting a turret, you're getting stuff out of it. So like, this choice is fine. Even though you die here, you tried to TP out, I don't mind, even though it didn't work. But yeah, like, this is when it's completely fine. I don't know what you're doing with your replay, but like, you just want me to keep watching. I don't know what is going on here.
I was trying to pinpoint something in there. I remember that, but I don't remember what it was. But I was trying to rewind to something specific, and I couldn't. I think here we are. This is where I wanted. I was just like, you know what? I got it. Let me fix it.
I'm fine with this choice. Like, I'm fine with you just dying for this turret because you're getting a bunch of pressure from it anyway, and it's going to take a while for you to die. This is perfectly fine. I don't know why your teammate's following you. Obviously, this makes no sense that Leona would follow you.
Yeah. That's everybody was pinging Leona to leave while I pressured the top.
Oh, and she should have, and it's fine, you know, sometimes. But again, like, back off after this. Like, I don't know why you keep trying to fight at this point. Just get off, and then you're stalling for long. Because again, what's your goal here after getting the turret? It's to stall for Baron. So you should be trying to stall. You just don't ask yourself your goal. Like, you don't understand what your goal is. If you understand what your champ's actually trying to do in any individual game, all of your choices should just simply lead to that. Your build should be good for stalling, like, you know, tank, and your build is good for pushing turrets because Demolish does more with more HP. And like, this is what you want every choice, whether it's build, runes, or choices in the game, to all lead up to your goal, which again is just to get pressure here. But you're not getting pressure for as long, and you had flash, so you actually could have lived. I think you're gonna die because you tried to auto him for too long, but maybe you'll live. Oh yeah, this is all right. I forgot that you tried to TP right. But yeah, and honestly, you might have just been able to run out in hindsight. But either way, your goal is to draw pressure. You draw pressure by stalling for longer periods of time and by pushing turrets. And yet you're making choices that are allowing you to stall for less periods of time because you die quicker there, because you try to fight him there. Again, your goal is not to
Mhm.
kill or not to kill Master Yi. Your goal is not to kill Jax. Your goal is just to have pressure on the side.
And if I don't die, I can continue to put pressure.
Okay, so I have a prediction for what you're gonna do here, and
Okay.
what do you think? I think you're
Did you
gonna
see my
do.
little doggy spin? My
No, I did
excited
not.
zoomy spin?
I
No,
did
yeah.
not. So what do you
Yeah,
think you're
there's
gonna do here, and what do you think you should do here?
I know what I'm gonna do here,
Yeah.
and I think what I should do here is run it straight down mid.
So what do you think you're gonna do?
Run it to dragon.
Why do you think you should go mid?
Well, because I would have just put pressure on mid while they're in the jungle trying to rotate top, I think.
So you have the right
Right.
idea of wanting to do pressure. You also have the right idea of what you're gonna do. That's what I think you're gonna do too. You should go bot instead, though. Why should you go
Okay.
bot instead?
Because right now it looks like everybody's top, and I see Echo and Lulu at least. And I'm sure soon I see Jack's bot lane before I leave Fountain.
Yeah. Okay. So if your goal was to get dragon here, you could go mid and so if you were to like say this was an elder dragon, you would go mid so that people get distracted by you during the fight, and then your team can win the fight. But this is a regular dragon when each team has one dragon. It's the same situation we talked about before. This dragon doesn't matter. I don't care if your teammates think it matters. It doesn't. So you're right about if you did want to like have some level of pressure during the fight, you would go mid, and that's a good way to make the fight easier. If your goal is just to get lanes pushed out, like the reason you want bot lane pushed out is because your eventual goal here is Baron, which spawns probably in about a minute. I don't know exactly, or maybe do you have Baron right now? Maybe you do, but like either way, it's gonna spawn at some point. No, you don't. That's the Sunfire thing. I couldn't. But yeah, Baron's gonna spawn in like a minute. If you get bot pushed out now, you get to reset and go top, and then you get to be top during Baron, which is good because Baron's spawning bot side. So you want to be pressuring the opposite side, but it's hard to pressure the opposite side if the Baron side lane is getting pushed. So you want that pushed out. So you're preparing for Baron, but in your mind, the dragon matters here, and that's the issue.
Yep.
But you're still, I like where you were thinking in terms of going mid. I don't know what you were doing waiting for so long. I guess you were trying to wait for.
Waiting for my ult and waiting
Oh.
for them to fucking position.
I mean, it was a fucking.
But I
cool
missed
ult,
my Q.
So. But again,
Yeah,
like, this is
thank
look
you.
at bot, right? Like this is where he gets all of this pressure bot, and he very nearly gets the
Yep.
turret. Is like
Yep.
say you were like an extra 2 seconds late, he gets turret. Whereas and like that's entirely realistic that you were 2 seconds later, and then you lose an inhib, which is way more valuable than getting that random dragon, which again does nothing for us. And then again, like your goal is to go side lane, so you just pushed out bot, just take the TV thing and go top. Like just fucking
Okay. Shit.
side lane pressure constantly. Like that's all that matters.
And the
but it's
wave
not.
is right there too.
Yeah, so
Damn
it'd be
it.
very easy. And instead, again, you go right back to another fight. And the only reason this works is because your team is stronger. Like, this isn't because of your choices. It just so happens that... Could you end? No, you can't, because the wave did die.
No.
You didn't really need to flash, I don't think. Or
No, I didn't.
I mean, you're gonna die. It's
I
whatever.
could have walked around through mid and then flashed over to the
You have
top side.
TP, so it's not a big deal. So here's when you have to kind of, like... You might have to TP for some type of fight. Or do you lose already? Maybe you already lose. But if your teammates do solve this, you might actually have to prioritize a fight just because you don't have side lanes push and the objectives are spawning right as you respawn. So this is one of those times where like you kind of do have to maybe fight. So you do have to understand that you can't always just side lane pressure 24/7. This is the problem with a lot of Scions, is they think my only goal is to push and they never like change that. So you do have to also identify when it makes sense.
And there's no team fight help. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's nothing else you can really do here apart from team fight, and so you can just. Right.
Sorry about that. I should next time. Next time I'll put on
do
not disturb. Yeah,
it's not a big deal. I just gotta remember to.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, you just push the sides out, and I mean you're just stalling here. There's not really anything to learn.
Yep.
It's just don't chase the fight. They have fucking Elder Dragon. Just push the waves. Like why did you just take a camp? Your goal here is to stop turrets from dying, and you're chasing people who have Elder Dragon. Like, I mean, just like it doesn't make any sense. Of course, this doesn't make sense, right? Like, you have an entire bot wave that you could be pushing, and you're just chasing random fights, and it weirdly, like, it's not that bad, but yeah,
because
I know,
they're
like,
Emerald.
like
I
understand. Click
understand.
his ultimate, he just doesn't click it, and it works. So I mean, you just like you speak Emerald better than me, and you just know that they're gonna do it, I guess. Like, but
Yeah,
obviously you can tell, yeah, like you should be pushing bot there.
I've been in Emerald too long, brother.
Yeah, no,
Please rescue me. My brain has reset.
So we'll go into notes as the final part. Basically,
Alright.
as I'm writing the notes for you, just anytime something doesn't make sense, you have a question, you remember something we talked about, just interrupt me and we'll write it down. If I write something that doesn't make sense to you, just tell me, because again, it only has to make sense to you. It doesn't matter if it makes sense to me. Anyways, first part of the game, we'll go into the Tryndamere game first, thinking about that. The early game, first thing is level 2 advantage from third or fourth minion. You remember like when it's going to be third versus when it's going to be the fourth minion? Okay. So just pay attention to that. I guess I'll fully spell out advantage, because why not? So be aware of that. In losing matchups, either get on wave. I can't type. Oh my god. Okay. In losing matchups, either hit wave hard for level 2 if enemy let you, which basically means they don't go on the wave right away, or just go for last hits and even be okay with
You could
just being in
say,
XP range.
if you
Yeah.
wanted to, you could just say last hits, play safe, and I would understand
Sure.
being
I'll just write it
okay
here at
with.
this part. Last hits, play safe.
Okay. Yeah.
That works. Then yeah, so there's that thing early game. Then there's also the, if the wave is already pushing, just let it keep pushing rather than trading into it. Because again, like you were level 3, he was level 4, because again, he's pushing the wave, so he's killed more minions. You trade into him instead of just letting it come into your turret, because you want to get every wave when you, or every minion, when you could just lose one minion, but just get the XP range. Because again, what really matters is the XP. It doesn't matter if you lose 30 gold from not last hitting it. As long as you get the XP, you're going to level up at the same time as them, and that's really what matters. Because again, like if they get that gold but they don't spend the gold, because so like all of the gold they get, it doesn't do anything until they recall, and they don't recall usually until level 4 or level 5. So as long as you get the XP, you're the same strength for that point in time, which means if they get 100 extra gold and they recall a wave earlier, you push one more wave, you recall, now your recall gave you the same items as them, and so you're never actually weaker than them, and the only time you're going to be weaker than them...
play safe until you have level.
Yeah, and again, we also spoke about your goal, which is just to go down a little bit of gold. Like, you're fine with going down a little bit of gold because you're Tryndamere. And Sion's kind of the same. So
yeah, I'll end up just making that up on Tryndamere through side laning, and yeah.
And so understand your goal, basically, for your purpose, right? Just again, if your goal is to side lane, we make plays that lead to us being able to side lane better, that type of thing. Then if enemy recall, and we do not want to stay in lane, then hard push so the wave resets. And yeah, I would say in order to understand waves better, it's a little hard to do during the game, but it's something you can focus on pretty hard during the games if you want. Like, ask yourself, what is this wave going to do if I don't touch it and the enemy don't touch it? And see if you're correct. And you can even go into practice still if you really want. I mean, I would say it's fine to just check in games, and then also like watch other players play and see what they do with it. I would say in terms of watching versus playing, you should be playing 90 to 95% of the time and only watch 5% of the time, roughly. Because it's just easier to put into practice rather than watch. But like, I would say watch, a couple videos maybe a week that are around whatever topic you're trying to improve on. And so that's when you can be like, okay, Talon did this with his wave. Why did he do this? Why was he trying to crash the wave at this time? Why didn't he wait an extra wave? And sometimes it's going to be because Talon was tilted and he just did whatever the fuck he was, like, I don't always do things that are adhering to what I tell you to do. Yeah, like, of course I'm going to do dumb shit, and so are a lot of people. And that's why, yeah, sometimes people will show me like a video or like a clip from like starting or something, and they'll be like, why'd he do this? And I'll be like, because he's a fucking idiot, even though starting is way better than me. Like, he's way better than me, and he'll do things that are way smarter than me, but also sometimes he'll do dumb shit. Like, it's just, it's anyone.
It happens.
So don't always try to read too much into it, even if it's a good player. But anyways, so early game, it's mostly about the wave management stuff and just level advantage in general. And then when behind, just stop trading. Like, you just trade with people who are ahead of you in levels and items. Like, just accept that you're behind, or if you're going to trade with a purpose, which is usually get the wave. So if enemy waste all their cooldowns, do not run away. use it to trade back
And
or
farm.
crash a wave. Right.
Okay.
Because remember, like the Wukong used everything on you, and then you backed off, so that he could use everything on you again instead of pushing the wave after the first time he used everything on you.
And getting a trade at the same time.
Yeah, because yeah, you can E through and whatever. So, but yeah, your goal there was never to kill him, so the trade is not as important as the wave getting pushed. Whereas
Right.
if you're like winning or even, that's when the trade matters. Like the trade matters
Situational.
more early, especially because usually level 5 onwards, a lot of champions have ways to get out. Volibear can ult out, Tryndamere can ult out, Renekton has ult to be tanky. Like most champs have some type of ult that's going to make it harder to kill them. But at like level 3, if you get a really advantageous trade, the enemy have to recall, or they're kind of fucked. So that's why you're trading back especially harder then, or again if you're already winning the lane. Because then again, if you're winning lane, having a harder trade means the enemy can't really walk up and you can freeze them for longer. Whereas again, if you're behind, you're just trying to get the wave in, so that you don't have to trade as much. Are there any other things from the early game, like the first 6 minutes, that you remember us talking about?
No, I think you pretty much remembered everything. It was mostly about wave and level management early game.
Yeah, that's definitely the majority. And then jungle tracking, it wasn't really an issue for you because your jungler was literally AFK one of the games, but like jungle tracking is always something. Because yeah, there was the one time where you were aggro on 150 when you should have recalled on 150 in the Sion game. And so yeah, be aware of jungle. Have you watched my jungle tracking video or no? Because I just described the basic.
No.
Okay, let me actually. I have this stuff here, so I'll just copy paste it into your thing. So
Sick.
these are like the timers that you can be ganked on. So again, it's if they start on
I
your
think that
side
was
of the
the
map.
wrong one.
Yeah, if they start on your side of the map, they can gank you from 230 to 345 and 5 to 6. And then it's obviously just the exact opposite if they start away from you.
Oh.
So
Okay.
obviously this assumes efficiency. You're playing an Emerald, so they're not going to be efficient.
Yeah.
So you're sometimes going to be ganked at 1 minute by a Pantheon who's level 2. That happens.
Yeah.
But that's fine because if you're ganked by a level 2 Pantheon, 1, obviously he's level 2, it's less likely to work out. But 2, even if it does work out, he bleeds a lot more early. Like if I spam gank at 1 minute, I delay when I'm going to get level 5 because I'm not farming as many camps, and then the other jungler gets an XP lead, which eventually leads to level or like level 5 before them, and then they can often get a gank off or make a better play. So if they're being inefficient, usually it means they're going to be dumb and throw their lead in some way, shape, or form after. So I copied this in a different place though. I didn't copy it here.
Yeah,
I didn't notice
that. I
that.
was gonna say something.
Yeah. There. Okay. But yeah, you get the point. So
Yes,
wait, I think I deleted the wrong thing.
You.
It doesn't matter. Okay. Either way, you see the timers here. So that's just important to note. Then yeah. So
and then also I think we mentioned paying attention to when to push side lanes, when to pressure.
Like later on in the game.
Right.
Yeah. So when to push side lanes and when to pressure. So you mean like timing with objectives? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like time your side lane pressure.
Yeah.
With objective spawn timers. So so when do you want people, or when do you want more pressure on side? Like what time
so
is
obviously.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess the first dragon you want to have pressure. You want your lane to be pushed if you're in dragon lane.
If you're in Baron lane too.
If I'm ahead in Baron lane, I want my lane to be pushed so that I can try and go do it solo, especially as Sion, or get it ready for my jungler to come in. And I mean,
so you are completely incorrect, which is fine. You're not completely incorrect. You're mostly incorrect. So you don't ever want to solo it, almost ever. Just unnecessarily risky, and you usually have better things you can be doing with your time, which is either if you're soloing it, it means that the enemy aren't going to be near you because you're not going to go 50-50 it if the enemy is like going to be 5 seconds later after they push the wave, which means you could be pushing the turret or you could be rotating to a team fight. Either way, you'd rather be doing that because the objective literally gets you a turret. So if you can get a turret anyway, cut out the middleman. No reason to do that. Second thing is you always want it pushing, whether you're behind or ahead. Now that doesn't mean that you can always do that. Obviously, if you're behind and the enemy get on the wave right away, you have to let them push, then you push it right after. But your goal is always to have prio when an objective is spawning. So if the enemy reset late, as we've seen you do very often, even when they're ahead, you can abuse that. The same way that I was telling you, when Wukong recalled earlier to push the wave, say he recalls at a bad time right before an objective, you still push the wave. It doesn't matter whether you're behind or ahead. So you always want to have the wave pushing before the objective. More what I was looking for with that question is what time. So as we spoke about, 45 seconds before an objective, even if your teammates die, they'll respawn for the objective. It's not overly important for someone to die there. So instead you reset, you spend your gold, you get everything, and then you start preparing for the objective 30, 20 seconds beforehand, which means you start pushing the wave from a neutral point to slightly pushing around 30 seconds, 20 seconds. And then around 10 or 5 seconds is when you want it actually arriving near the enemy turret, because then the enemy have to choose get the objective or kill you.
Or protect our turret, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll write something along those lines, like basically around 45 seconds before objective. And now I want to make it very clear, this is not always going to happen. Like, go watch my games. Sometimes you're going to reset a minute beforehand because you have your item a minute beforehand. Sometimes you're going to reset 30 seconds beforehand because you saw a free solo kill angle. Sometimes you're going to reset 5 seconds beforehand because you got a call on your phone and you got distracted. Like, random things will happen, but right around 45 seconds before objective, try to reset, then start pushing around 30 seconds and get it close to turret. To turret around 10-ish. These are all rough timers, obviously, but that's roughly when we want that happening. Does that make sense? Or do you have questions on that?
No, yeah, that makes sense. I
Okay.
appreciate that. Yeah.
So then the other thing is understanding when we want a team fight versus when we want a side lane. Essentially, and this is obviously kind of a obvious way to put it. Basically, if you think that your presence will change the fight's outcome in a positive way, you're probably going to want to go. If you think your presence is not going to do that, you're probably going to try to just get pressure elsewhere. So our presence is not really going to help the enemy or help our team win a team fight if we're a 4,000 gold Tryndamere. Yet one of those times you went to the fight when the enemy was like 2.5k gold ahead of you. Your presence might help the fight if you are like super fed. But then you have to be determining, well, is my presence more valuable on side or in the fight? So for example, you might be super fed, but the enemy might have a fed Xayah and Lulu, and you're probably not going to be able to kill the Xayah Lulu because they just have good, ways to protect themselves or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a fed Jinx with a, I don't know, like a Morgana support, and you have QSS, you can go to that fight and you can still win it, so then you can go. So you kind of have to look at those things, and that's obviously just knowing your champion, knowing your limits and whatever. But generally speaking, just like default to side lane, with your champions. Both your champions are naturally side lane. But if we feel strongly that our presence will change the outcome of the objective fights, or that we can outvalue enemy top laner at the fight, then we can go. So again, if you think that Ornn's going to match you on side lane as a Sion and you don't think you can break through Ornn right now for whatever reason, but you think you can be more useful than him in the fight, which probably isn't the case against an Ornn, but it's just a random example, then you can go because you think you're going to be more valuable and you can't really break through him on side lane.
Right.
So it's pretty much just like, again, it's a value game. It's not, can I like carry every game? Obviously, you're going to lose. Like my win rate right now, I think is 58 or 59. I mean, that's not all top lane. I play every role, but like the point is, even a good player is going to lose 60 or 40% or more of their games, most of the time, especially if you're solo queue. So you're not trying to win every game. You're trying to outvalue the enemy top laner every game. Because if you're playing better than the enemy top laner in 90% of the games, you're probably going to win more than 50% of games.
Just because of the pressure you're able to give, yeah.
Because, like, again, we see literally your win rate's 50% because you're winning when your team's better, you're losing when your team is worse. If you play slightly better, you're going to start winning when your team is slightly worse because you're going to be that difference maker. And then you're going to keep losing when your teammates are a lot worse because it's just, that's just how it goes.
How it goes,
so,
yeah.
The reason that's important to know is, again, I'm going to stay on side lane when I think on side lane I can slowly build up pressure, I can maybe get a turret out of it, or I'm going to stay on side lane when I think if I go 5v5, I'm going to lose. So if we're going to lose on a 5v5, I'll let my teammates lose the 5v4, and then at least I get a turret out of it. Like, just always try to get something. Always try to get the next best thing. Don't be like, oh, again, I have to get a winning situation out of everything. For example, when you were down level 3 as Tryndamere and the enemy was level 4 and you were down health and you tried to trade anyway because you're thinking I have to win lane or it's doomed. If your goal instead was, okay, given the current circumstances, I have to find the best way to have as much value as possible. That's going to be recalling and getting back and only bleeding 100 gold instead of bleeding 300 gold from your death plus a turret plate. So basically what I'm trying to tell you, and I think you get it, though it's kind of a long-winded way of saying it, is we just have to take whatever looks best for us rather than trying to constantly, win every fight and be at every single fight and always match the enemy top laner. It's usually
Right.
like, if our team is already winning fights, we'll keep doing whatever happens. So if our team kept winning 4v4s and we can stay on side lane in a 1v1, we're going to keep doing that. If our team is losing a bunch of 4v4s and we're losing 1v1 against Fiora top, we're probably going to try to start go team fighting because we need to change something. So do you have questions on the side laning versus team fighting? Is there more that you want to know about that, or?
No, I think I get it. Yeah.
And it's also just going to be
I
from,
I like to
trying.
think that
But yeah.
I like to think that I have a fairly good game sense when it comes to like understanding when to be where. If I'm being honest with you, I gave you those two. Those were just two games that I had played at work. I work security,
Mhm.
so but so I was distracted. I wasn't fully
Yeah.
focused, but they showed a lot of mistakes that I do make minuscule wise. So they felt good to use. So yeah.
Do you know how many games
Um,
you played this season or no?
Not many, but at least 40.
Okay, so you just not played much at all.
Right. I
Got it.
just came back after taking like a year and a half break.
Oh, okay. So the point is, obviously, again, it's a video game. You're supposed to play when it's fun. So if you want to keep playing at
Yeah.
work, keep playing at work. Same way I told the people, if you want to keep playing high, just do it for fun. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But of course, if you're really trying to like get better and climb, playing when you're more focused, which probably is not going to be the case at work, is ideal.
Mhm.
Like it's probably the same reason you're starting slightly late in these games. Like, you like go to the game
Yeah.
later. So if you have free time, again, I know not everyone has free time, but that's something to think about either way. But yeah, going back into the gameplay stuff, generally, a lot of times like a fight, I want to talk about objectives too. Third dragon only matters if soul. If it's
Oh
soul.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And even if it's soul, Baron over soul. That's something
Okay.
important to understand. And then think about the game in terms of numbers or in terms of math. So I actually just recently made a video, and basically it was this here. Basically, it's about the different stages of the game. And what's most important to understand is the 3 main goals written. So your first goal, 0 to 6 minutes, is obviously get a gold advantage in whatever way you can in lane phase, which is pretty much what we talked about with your laning stuff. Then your gold in 6 to 11 minutes is to get gold around the map, which again, you're just doing by getting turrets, you're doing Scion shit, whatever. Your goal 11 minutes onwards is now key objectives. So now when you're on side lane at 12 minutes, you're doing that to have pressure for Baron. You're no longer doing that to get gold for yourself. I mean, obviously you still want to farm, you're not literally not getting any gold, but that's not really a big deal. And so the reason I think that's important for you to understand as it relates to thinking about the game in terms of math is I really want you to think about the game in terms of math for the first 11 minutes. And after that, it's more about getting turrets pushed and getting Baron, because those key objectives are how you actually win the game. Whereas again, a lot of times you're chasing fights at 13 minutes as a Scion kind of for no reason, when you don't gain anything from it, or you could be pushing a side lane and getting pressure elsewhere.
Yeah.
These are a lot of the main things I can think about.
Yeah,
are
no,
there
I
more?
think you've covered just about all of it, man.
Okay.
And I look forward to playing some games with this mindset to keep, to put into play.
Okay. Sounds good. Then I'll see you later. Good luck.
All right, man.